Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you are not going to be seeing my face at all. I'm going to continue on in my collection video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So far for this collection video, we have already done on top of one of my little drawers. We have also done these two bottom drawers, and then I'm going to start over to the side now. These are just like little Sterilite containers. I do have some more drawers sitting on top of this. All right, so in this top one, I have got nothing but makeup samples and I guess some skincare like overflow. And then in this one, this is like all of my skincare samples. And out of all of this, I give it to like my friends, my family, so I do share these as well. And then in this bottom drawer is all like hair care samples. I'm not going through this one by one. You can tell that's just where I keep all of my sample stuff. But we are going to go through these two drawers here, and that's what I'm going to focus on today. And I think that will probably be a long enough video, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. The first palette I'm pulling out of here is the Huda Beauty. This is the Rose Quartz palette. This one came out in 2021. Huda is one of my very favorite brands, and her eyeshadows are just absolutely amazing. This is what the inside of this palette looks like. It is absolutely beautiful. One of my favorites. Another one of my favorites is this one right here from Huda. This is the Mercury Retrograde. The color story in this is just absolutely beautiful. This shade right here is absolutely insane. I highly recommend this palette. All right, then I have got this one from Huda. This is the New Nude palette, and I told you I keep all of her inserts just because they are so pretty. But look at this color story. Absolutely insane shades. You've got this like cream base color too. I like the addition of that. I wish it would have had a cover, but I do like that addition. It reminds me very much of my MAC Painterly paint pot. But yeah. Next up is one from Nabla. This is the Poison Garden palette. And Nabla's formula, if you have not tried it, absolutely amazing. I love the little cutie palettes from this brand as well. But yeah, this brand has some of my favorite palettes. All right, here is one from KKW Beauty, and this was the collaboration with Winnie, and I think Winnie right here is a model, if I'm not mistaken. But I just love this color story. Again, KKW Beauty has just a lot of everyday type of colors, and her formula blends out so beautifully. I have really gotten along well with any of the KKW palettes that I have tried. Next up, I have some palettes from the brand Alter Ego. Alter Ego, if you're not familiar with them, it is kind of like a dupe type brand. They dupe a lot of Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath palettes, but you have to order these online through their website, and but everything is really affordable. It's like $20 and under, I believe, for their palettes. But this is the Sahara one, and this is a dupe for a Natasha Denona palette. It could possibly be the Biba palette. But yeah, here is this one, maybe the gold even. Next up, I have the Canyon, and I know that this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona bronze palette. Last up, I have got the Goddess palette. This one is a dupe of the Natasha Denona gold palette, now that I'm looking at it. So I'm thinking this Sahara one, I'm thinking that was a dupe for the Biba, but now I actually own the Biba. I haven't used it yet, but I do own that one. That video is coming. All right, next up, I have got, I think this is my only palette, eyeshadow palette from Pretty Vulgar. This is the Nightingale palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm, I believe. But this is the color story here. It's decent. It's definitely not like a favorite palette for me. This color right here is really pretty though. But yeah, it's just basically a smoky palette. Nothing special here. Okay, these Alter Ego ones, just while we're talking about quality, these are pretty dang good quality for, you know, a very affordable price. So I thought I would mention that. All right, next up, I have got a NARS palette. This is the Makeup Your Mind palette. It has been a minute since I've seen this one, but I do remember this one and I absolutely love it. So you've got 3 different blushes. You've got the Laguna bronzer, and then you've got 4 different eyeshadows. This is like great for everyday eyeshadow looks. I have gotten some really nice looks with this. I really do enjoy this palette, and I like that it's got so much included in it. Next up, I got this. This is from Makeup Revolution. This is the Emily Noel. She did like a collab with them. She had one palette that was called The Wants, which you guys will see in a later video. And then this one is the Need. So this is like the everyday essentials. This is what it looks like here. Honestly, I love Emily Noel, but I did not really like this palette that much. Just opening it up, it smells just like cheap makeup. I know some people absolutely love this palette, but I am just not one of them. I mean, you can tell I've gotten some use out of it. I tried to use it, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. All right, I went and grabbed a cup of coffee, and we're gonna continue going through this. All right, so I'm noticing in here, it's a lot more of like my drugstore type palettes, or ones I just don't really use that often. I have some from Tarte. This one I actually really like. This is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette, and it's so pretty. It's equally as pretty on the inside. As you can tell, these shades are so pretty, and they stay on all day because it's got that Amazonian clay formula. And then I have another one from Tarte. This one I don't like as much. I think I got this one in a BoxyCharm as well. This is Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3. It does have some really pretty shades, and I've actually used this a good bit. It doesn't look like it, but it has got some really pretty shimmers in this one. It's not like a complete palette because this is the only matte in this palette, and it's very light, as you can tell. So this is one you have to pair with another one, but it is pretty. It's not my favorite. If you watched my part 2, when I was doing all of my Laura Lee Los Angeles, I said I had another one from her, and this is it. This one is called The Party Animal, and it is so pretty. This color right here is actually gorgeous. It has got shimmers in there. There, now it's picking up. But yeah, this is just a nice bright rainbow palette, and this shade is really special. Wet n Wild actually makes pretty good eyeshadow palettes. A lot of my favorite ones from the drugstore are actually Wet n Wild, and I have some really old, like, classic ones. These are actually the newer ones from the brand. This is Rosé in the Air, and then this one is Not a Basic Peach. I don't think that I've used either of these yet, but I do have some of their other ones. Now, these I have, and these are like these are like the OG ones. These still perform so well. This one is my favorite. This is the Comfort Zone, and then this one is the Petal Pusher, and I really like this light pink shade right here. That's like probably my favorite from this palette. I love all of these. Okay, from the Corpse Bride collection, this is from Makeup Revolution. This is what the palette looks like itself. I have a video doing a review on this collection, so I will link that down below. But as you can tell, this is just a pretty unique color story, I feel like. I think that it adds to my collection, and I do really like this one, and I think it was only like $15. 10 or 15 bucks. So some of my very favorites from the drugstore are from BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics has actually got an amazing eyeshadow formula, and I think I even don't give it enough credit. Now that I'm sitting here doing this video, I should be using these more because they're really, really good. This is the Love in London palette, and to be honest with you, I don't even know if they still sell this one, but it is a gorgeous color story. I mean, look at that. That is just like your everyday neutrals. You've got like a few colors, but they're not like poppy colors. I'd say the poppiest color is probably this light blue shade up there, but yeah, it's a really, really good one. Also from BH Cosmetics, I have got the Smitten in Switzerland palette. This one is just more of like a fall color story, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Again, I think these are like $10 to $15, I think, something like that, but such good quality. Juvia's Place eyeshadow formula is also amazing. This is the Nomad palette, and again, this is just such a perfect like fall color story. There is no mirror. These eyeshadows are so pigmented and blendable, and yeah, this one is so, so good. One that I got from a BoxyCharm, and I don't think that I've ever used this. This is the Queen palette from Eloise, I believe. And this is the color story here. I actually think that this is a pretty color scheme. I don't know why I haven't used it. I have zero excuse, but I really like these two colors down here. I think those would be interesting to use, but yeah, I need to use this. This is the Too Faced Funfetti, and I think my husband got me this for something. I can't remember what it was, but this is what the inside of that palette looks like, and it's just very underwhelming. Nothing really stands out. I feel like all the shades are just kind of dull. And yeah, for like a fun Valentine's palette, you would think, you know, I know they can do better, basically is what I'm saying. And these shades don't even perform that well either. So I hold on to it just because he got it for me. But this is one that's actually not, I would say, not good. All right, first up, we've got the Nabla Dreamy palette. And this is what that one looks like. Again, this is like a nice fall type of color story, and I mean just everyday as well. But yeah, this is a really, really good one. One that is amazing, and I feel like super underrated, the Lorac Luxe Diamond palette. This one, holy shit. I mean, it looks like nothing, but it's everything. These shadows perform so good. If you have never tried Lorac eyeshadows, highly, highly recommend. And it's actually a brand that I kind of forget about even myself. But yeah, I would say from the brand, from what I have tried, this is like my favorite one. I feel like it's kind of like a bigger palette, but it's still really like small and compact, and like I like using this one. It's not too big, but I feel like you're getting a whole lot of colors in here. It's everyday colors, and they all perform really, really well, and it's really balanced as far as mattes and shimmers. I have nothing bad to say about this one. One that I can't really speak on is this Lorac Shine Bright palette. This was like a holiday palette from Lorac, and I actually really like the color story. I love jewel tones, and I think that definitely has this going on. I really like that mustardy type of shade right there. But yeah, I have not even used this, and I don't know what's wrong with me. This came in a BoxyCharm, and this is the Illuminati X Isa, and it is by Isabel. I'm not familiar with her, but I do really like this packaging, like space vibes, definitely into that. And I actually like this color story. I think it's very interesting. I did do a look, I believe, using this palette, and I think I filmed it. If so, I will link it down below, but I don't know. Some of these I know I haven't used them on my eyes, but I've swatched them and I know they're not going to be that great, which is probably like these two. Again, I haven't used it on my eyes, but yeah, I just feel like those two are not going to be that good just from based on swatches. But anyway, it's just okay. And I feel like for it just being okay, like I could let this one go. Another one that is like that is this Melissa Michelle and Ulta little collab. I don't know. I do have, oops, the brush fell out. I do have a video testing this palette out. I will link it down below. It's so old, so it's probably terrible quality, but I don't know. This palette is just okay, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's pretty bulky for what it is, and it does have like a little glitter liquid liner in here, which was great just for putting on the lid, actually, not as like a liner, but as like an eyeshadow. But yeah, I like the tones of this, but one of these shades even came shattered. This one right here, I had to repress that, and yeah, it's just not my favorite. So I got this from Ulta forever ago. This is a makeup artist named Fiona Styles, and she used to have a line at Ulta, and I got a ton of stuff from the line because I absolutely loved it. This bronzer, these two are highlighters, these two are blushes, and then you've got your eyeshadows. I would say the thing that I like the least, if I had to say something out of this palette, is the eyeshadows. They just aren't the best, but these face products are absolutely amazing, and I wish they still sold this where you could get it. But I will say this is very, yeah, this is very bulky for what it is as well. This Honest Beauty palette, this is the Get It Together eyeshadow palette, and basically it is one of just, again, very, very basic shades, but this is actually a really good quality palette. I think this is a good just staple one to have. Like, even though it's so basic, I really do like having this one in my collection. Ooh, we have got some Lorac ones. Alright, I'm gonna pull out this stack. Alright, this is the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. So they come out with one of these, or they used to come out with one of these Mega Pros every year. This is the Mega Pro 4, and I would say probably out of the ones that I have like this is probably my least favorite one. But I do like having this one just because it has a lot of these like kind of pastel colors that I don't really have that much in my collection. Next up is the very first one that they ever released. This is the Mega Pro, and I actually haven't really used this one that much, as you can tell. But yeah, actually looking at it now, this one's kind of boring, but I do feel like it's just got good everyday staples. I feel like it's got really good transition shades. This is like a palette of transition shades is really what I get from that. From Ofra Cosmetics, I didn't even remember I had this. This is the Holiday Glow palette. Okay, I do remember this one. This one is actually a really nice palette. You've got the Americano bronzer, this blissful highlighter. The highlighter in here is so bomb. You've got 4 different blush shades, and then you've got 6 eyeshadow shades. These eyeshadows perform amazing. And then you have got these like liner shades down here. You can use this as a brow powder as well. But yeah, I feel like, again, this is kind of bulky, but there is a lot of stuff in there. Okay, from BH Cosmetics, this is the Desert Oasis palette, and this one is absolutely beautiful. You've got all these highlighters over here, this whole side. Then you have got just a beautiful little assortment of eyeshadows. So pretty. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this one. The quality is amazing. The shades are amazing. I got this out of a BoxyCharm, actually. This is the Hip Dot. This is the Zion palette. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. And honestly, I don't think that I've even used this one yet. This one is the C Note palette. And again, I don't think that I have used this, but I do like having just a kind of a palette of a bunch of blues, because I feel like I don't have that many blues in my collection. Next up is the Dreamy 2 palette from Nabla. This is probably, if I had to pick one, I think this would probably be my favorite color story from Nabla. I love the purples. I love all the warm tones. I love the taupey little combo down here. I think you can get everyday looks. I love this like rusty reddish brown color down here as well. This one is probably, I really like this color story. Another one from Nabla is the Secret palette, and this is that color story. I think that this is just a dreamy palette. Again, I love all of these jewel tones. You have got that mustardy type shade that I love, but in like a satin color, like stop. Yeah, I need to pull this out and use it now that I'm looking at it, because it is so pretty. And Nabla's formula is so good. These are 2 of like some of my elite palettes. This is the Desert Dusk palette from Huda Beauty. And again, I kept the insert in this palette because it's just so pretty. And this is what that palette looks like. Just reminds me kind of like a fairy type palette. I don't know. It gives me fairy vibes, and I'm for it. Another favorite, and this one I think was released in 2021. This is the Huda Beauty Naughty palette. Okay, I don't really think I need to say anything else. I mean, look at this color story. This is like a weird kind of like, it's a clear gel type of like, you can see it right there. This is like it's like a clear gel over these like red beads, and I don't know, you can use this as like a highlighter. I think you can use it as a base for eyeshadows, but yeah, that's the only color. I don't know, I'm just like, I don't know about that one, but everything else in here is absolutely amazing. And yeah, I highly recommend this one. This palette right here from Tarte, this is the Tarteist Pro. This is what the palette looks like on the inside, and I don't know, it smells like chocolate. I have never used this, and I've owned it for so long. yeah, I definitely need to like use this or give it to Hannah or give it to somebody, because what am I doing here? But these smell so good. Smells like chocolate. All right, then you've got the Tardiest Pro Remix. This is what that one looks like on the inside. I feel like this is a more like fun type of color story for Tarte. Tarte is usually kind of like the same colors, just repeated and repeated and repeated again in palettes, is what I feel like is the brand kind of overall. But I feel like this one, they actually did a pretty good job as far as like mixing it up. But yeah, this one smells like chocolate as well. Now I've got two from ColourPop. The first one is the Fame palette, and this is that color story. I feel like while this one, it doesn't look like anything exciting, kind of like that Too Faced Funfetti one that I showed you. It doesn't look like anything really special, but this one, I don't know. They actually perform so well. I don't know. This is actually one of my favorites from ColourPop, and looking at it, it doesn't look like anything special, but it actually is really, really good. Then I have got the Truly Madly Deeply, and I feel like this one is very like pressed glitter heavy. It has got 3 of those in here, and that is probably like my least favorite formula from ColourPop. But yeah, I haven't used this one, but just looking at it, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of pressed glitters. I think this color right here is the most interesting one out of this palette. So when I use it, I will probably use like these two. That is that palette. There's no mirror in here. Last in this drawer is the Too Faced Pretty Rich palette. And I have had, this is another one I have had forever, and I have not used it yet. What the heck is wrong with me? It does have like some glitter shades in here, and I've heard different reviews. I've heard that the glitters in here perform really well, and I've also heard the opposite. So I will be interested to try this out and see what I think. But this is such a gorgeous palette. Like, look at this. It looks like a little makeup box, minus if it had this on there. I think if it didn't have this, it would actually be prettier. But yeah, I do really like this packaging, even though, yeah, I've complained about bulky packaging, but this bulky I'm okay with, and this is the extreme bulk. So again, I've got issues. Okay, so there were 46 up here. Now we're gonna go ahead and move down here. This one came in a little Too Faced holiday collection. This is what the inside of that palette looks like. As you can tell, it is just 4 pressed glitters and 2 matte shades. Honestly, this is not my favorite palette. I would consider getting rid of this, but it is so cute, and it goes with that little magnetized collection, so I keep him. Then this one came in BoxyCharm. Obviously, this is like their brand, and I actually quite like this eyeshadow palette. It came in a BoxyCharm, obviously, and I really, really love this shade right here. I think this is a gorgeous palette, actually, and I would hold on to this. Alright, next up is like a little knockoff that actually came in a BoxyCharm as well. This is not one of my favorite palettes by any means, but this is from Pure Cosmetics. This is the Buff collection. But as you can tell, it is a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. It is a pretty good dupe, I will say that. But yeah, this one is just not as good a quality. A eyeshadow formula that I feel like a ton of people sleep on, including myself, is from Smashbox. This is the LA Cover Shot palette, and It, as you can tell, is just basically kind of like 4 different quads, but this is a fantastic eyeshadow palette formula, and yeah, I feel like it's never talked about. One that I got from Too Faced is the little peanut butter and jelly palette, and this palette still smells so good and sweet. But yeah, this is the color story here, and as you can tell, just some nice like warm shades in here. All right, I've got 2 from Violet Voss. This is just an okay brand. I've got the Essentials and the Essentials 2. My experience with it, it's been just like decent overall. Not great, not awful, just very middle of the line. But there is that color story, and then here is this one. I actually don't think that I have used either of these in particular. Another one I would say that is just very middle of the line. You know, I don't really have a feeling about it one way or another. This one is Art Caviar palette, and this is what the color story looks like here. I mean, they look nice on your eye. They don't, age your eyelids or anything like that, but I would say that's all this palette really has going for it. It's upper in price as well, so I wouldn't recommend this brand as an eyeshadow palette, you know what I mean? Next up is another one from BH Cosmetics. This is Summer in Saint Tropez. This is what that palette looks like, and I absolutely love this. I feel like I don't have anything else like it in my collection as far as like this specific collection of shades here. I think each shade is special in this palette, and I just think they did a really, really good job with this one. All right, I have a Too Faced little holiday set here. This is the little gingerbread men. So each one of these it's got a collection of little eyeshadows and then a face color. I think, yeah, 2 of these have blushes. And then I think this one could be like a blush or bronzer, if you will. But these each smell amazing. This one smells like raspberry. I think this one's supposed to smell like sugar plums, and this one like bananas. But yeah, these are, this is a cute little collection. I really like this one. Next up, a palette that I got from a BoxyCharm. This is Dose of Colors, and this is the Hidden Treasure palette. I like this palette, and it also like seriously triggers me just because of how this is laid out, like just how disorganized it is and how much wasted space there is. This could be like half this size, but yeah, this one, I like the shades, but I hate the palette. So all right, from Tarte, this is the Tartelette Toasted palette. This used to be all over YouTube, but it is just a warm toned eyeshadow palette. I feel like this was like the first one that came out that like everybody was talking about. That was just like a super warm toned palette, and then all the other brands started to copy them and created their version of this, but I feel like this is like the classic. And then probably one of my favorite from Tarte is the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and it looks like nothing, but this is just kind of like your everyday shades, and yeah, I really, really love this palette actually. Then this one, I think I got this one in a BoxyCharm as well. This is the Too Faced Palm Springs Dreams palette. Oh no, sorry. It's the Cocktail Party eyeshadow palette. And this is what that color story looks like. I may have a video up with this palette. I can't remember. So basically, yeah, I mean, this is just a palette I don't remember in my collection. I think that's probably the best way to put it. It is pretty looking at it, but yeah, I guess it's just not one of my favorite ones for whatever reason. Another one that is not one of my favorite ones is the Pure Be Your Selfie palette. I actually really do like this color story here. It is a nice everyday one. I've actually used this one quite a bit, and I think this one smells like chocolate as well. It's an okay palette, you know. It's just, I feel like it is a cheaper type. It feels cheap, and it's got this little like cheapy type of a mirror, but the shadows perform well. I don't know. That's all my thoughts on that. Okay, from Laura Geller, this is the Life Glows On palette, and this is a palette full of her gelato highlighters, and her highlighters are absolutely amazing. There was like a fiasco. There was a time period on YouTube where Laura Geller's Gilded Honey was like sold out everywhere. That is one of her baked gelato highlighters. These are Diamond Dust, French Fizz, and Opal Crush. These are all like colored type highlighters. These are kind of shifty. Like this one shows up definitely more pink than white. But yeah, I use these as like inner corner shades. I never use these on my face. Okay, next up from Flower Beauty is the Sugar Rush eyeshadow palette. This one is really good, just like her other ones. Look at how shifty that purple shade is. I guess I could kind of open it up. But yeah, you can see just how like shifty these are. This one is so intense as well. But yeah, this is just a really good palette, and the brush that comes in here is really good quality as well. From Ace Beauté, I got this from a BoxyCharm. This is probably one of my favorite things that I've gotten in a BoxyCharm. The quality on this is so good that it led me to seek this brand out online, and I looked at and purchased 2 other palettes actually recently from this brand. But this is the Grandiose palette, and as you can tell, it is just a very curated, warm color story. All of these perform so good in this palette. I can't recommend this one enough. It doesn't have a mirror. This one's great to, you know, travel with. And yeah, that one is very, very good. All right, one that I got from an Ipsy bag that I have not tried yet. This is the Lovecraft Beauty palette, and this is what this palette looks like here. I have not tried this, but it actually is a really pretty like collection of colors. I really like this shade right here. It's picking up actually pretty green. Alright, one that I'm actually not that fond of. This one is just okay. It's one of those like mediocre type palettes. This is from Fiona Styles. I guess it's just the Artist eyeshadow palette. But as you can tell, it is just everyday type colors. Nothing really sticks out. These look nice on your eyes. This gives me like those Laura Mercier type vibes. Just very plain, looks nice, but there's nothing special about it. That's what this is. All right, from Makeup Revolution, these are probably ones that are not ooh, actually this one is really, really good. Right time I opened this, I was like, wait, I don't mean that. This one is so bomb. Again, this is old. I don't know if they still sell this one, but this is the Neutrals versus Neutrals palette, and yeah, it is so good. That's the name there. But yeah, this is a really, really good one, and it's like $10. This is the Salvation palette, and I think I got this as like a free gift. This is not one of my favorites. I have never even used this one, to be honest with you. It's just, yeah, I don't like the layout of it. I don't like how it looks. Yeah, that's really all I can say about this one. It's just, I'm not intrigued to use it. All right, this is a super old one. This is the NYX Avant Pop eyeshadow palette, and this one I still love. I don't know, I mean, they don't pop, there's nothing like crazy about it, but I do like the collection of colors. It's kind of like those fall vibes, but in a more muted way even. I don't know, I really do like holding on to this one. Good. These are again ones from Lorac. This is the Desert Sunset palette, and I mean, just look at that. I don't think I really need to say anymore. I love this purple in this palette. Yeah, this one is so good. Then you have got Ocean Sunset, and this one is equally as amazing. And this one, if you see it, opens weird, right? This is that color story. This green is so pretty, especially mixed with like these purples. So good. Then I think it's just called the Unzipped palette, and this one, again, it's one of those that doesn't really look like anything, but this one is everything. This one is so good. I need to have this pulled out where I can use it more. Then this is one of the newer ones, but I really did love this one. This is the Lorac Noir palette. I keep this on here so that I will have the shade names, but this is that color story. These shimmers are so creamy. This is more of like a smoky and cooler toned type palette. So good. This is probably one of my favorite from Lorac, actually. Another one from Violet Voss. This is the Creme Brulee palette. I got this in an Ipsy bag. I still have not used this, but this is the color story here. It doesn't really call out to me, but yeah, I do need to use that and just test it out. One of my oldest palettes, this is from Urban Decay. This is the Smoky palette, and this was like a holiday collection release, I believe. But this is what it looks like inside, and again, it is just super dark shadows for the most part. You can do blue smoky eyes, green smoky eyes, purple smoky eyes, so I do like that about this palette. I don't know, I will hold on to this palette forever because I don't know, it just, we go so far back together that I just, at this point, I might as well hold on to it, you know? Alright, two that I really love are from Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Spanglish palette. This one I actually haven't even tried. I say I love it just because I do really like this color story, and I know that the formula is bomb. But yeah, there's that one. This is the real one that I was talking about that I love. This is the Reina del Caribe Volume 1. I want to get Volume 2 so bad, but this is what this color story looks like, and these shades are extremely pigmented. They are so intense. The shimmers, you know, they come off even stronger on your eyes. I just, this is such a good formulation. I do think the packaging could have been better. I think it could have been way reduced. I feel like there is a ton of wasted space in here. If this could have been a more compact little package, I would have liked that even more, but yeah. Alright, one from Kylie Cosmetics. This is, it just says it's the Kylie Jenner palette. So this came out for a Christmas collection. I do remember that. but I just thought this palette was so pretty. I love those mauves, and you've got the ability to go really smoky with this palette. I loved the little peachy shades. I loved the hot pink. This is actually a really good one that I like the color story of a whole lot in my collection. All right, another one from Ace Beauté. This is the Scarlet Dusk palette, and this is what this one looks like. I love these bright shades in here. Love all the mauves and berries. This one is so good, and the formula of Ace Beauté again is just top notch. It's really, really a very good one. All right, from Juvia's Place, this is the Saharan palette. This is like Fall Dreams right here. Great, great quality at the drugstore. From Ciate London, I got this in a BoxyCharm as well. As you can tell, I get a lot, or I did get a lot when I had a BoxyCharm subscription, a lot of eyeshadow palettes. This is the Editor palette from Ciate London. I will say though that a lot of the ones that I got in BoxyCharm are just not that great. Like, some of them are good. I would probably say more of them are more mediocre though than great, and this is kind of one of those more mediocre ones for me. Okay, from One Size, which is Patrick Starr's brand, this is the Patrick Starr Visionary eyeshadow palette, and this is the color story here. This was on sale on Sephora the last time I looked. I'm not sure if it's still on sale, but this one is just okay. I don't remember it being anything special, to be honest with you, but I did only use this once, so but it didn't stand out to me when I used it. All right, one that I really love. This is from when KVD Beauty actually was Kat Von D. But yeah, this is the Lolita palette, and it is so pretty. These are so intense, these glitters. They are so good, actually. But yeah, this is a really, really nice palette. All right, now I've got a good bit from Too Faced, so I'm just going to kind of run through these. All right, this is the Marial Amor Caliente palette, and this one is so beautiful. Love the decorations on this one as well. The packaging is so pretty. Another one that I absolutely love is this one right here. This is the A Girl's Best Friend eyeshadow palette, and I haven't even used this one, I don't think. I really need to use this. There we go. Now it's showing up very true. But yeah, this is a gorgeous palette. This is the Gingerbread Spice. Warm, beautiful, everyday. Then you have got the Gingerbread Extra Spicy. And this one I feel like is even more of like a orange, warm toned type of a palette. Then you have got the Pumpkin Spice. This one is definitely more of like orangey, green, purple type of vibes. I really like this one. I think this is more of like a special standout type of one. All right, the one that started it all, this is the Chocolate Bar palette, and I will never get rid of this. This will go down with me. One of my favorites, this is the Chocolate Gold palette, and this one is just, it's full of a ton of beautiful shimmery metallic shades. You've got a few mattes over here, and everything else is a shimmer. This is such a stunning palette. All of the Too Faced ones, you know, kind of smell like chocolate or like pumpkin scented, whatever. But yeah. All right, from BH Cosmetics, this is the Carly Bible. This is the first one that she came out with. Then she came out with one that was expanded and a little bit bigger. This is a fantastic palette. You've got 4 like highlighters or like bronzer toppers right here, and then you have got these eyeshadows up top, 10 different eyeshadow shades. This is gorgeous, and if you can still pick this up, I would highly recommend it. One that I got from a BoxyCharm that I actually do like, this is from Laura Sanchez, and I guess it's the Moods palette, but this is what this looks like. I like the highlighters the most in this palette, but yeah, there you go. And then if you open it up, this is what the actual packaging looks like. I just always thought that was so cool. This is really bulky, but I think it's cute, and I want to hold on to that for a very long time. Something I don't really care about, this came in a Ipsy bag. This is the, I don't even know the name brand. I think it's just, I guess, Ipsy's brand, and it's the Tetris palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. I feel like, again, ton of wasted space. This is actually a really big palette for only 6 shades. I feel like those shades don't really go together to make a complete look, and yeah, this just isn't a favorite. All right, a super duper old one is from the Balm. This is the Balm's Eye palette, and I still really like this one. If you look on the side over here, it tells you what to use them for. All right, so for instance, it says to use these wet or dry. It says these are brow colors or eyeshadow colors. Says these 2 rows are like your splashes of color, and then these up top are the basics. So I like how it lays all that out for you. You open this up down here, and you've got like some brow stencils and some like winged liner stencils in here. I don't know. This is another one that will just kind of go down with me. I love this palette. I would not get rid of that one. And from Makeup Revolution, this is the Rachel Leary palette. This is the Goddess on the Go. And here is what this one looks like. This is just okay quality. It's not the best quality that I've had from Makeup Revolution, but it is still pretty good quality. You've got bronzer, blush, highlight. I mean, this is really a full face of makeup other than like a setting powder. So I actually do like this one. I like the packaging, like the colors, like everything about it. It's just not the best quality, but it's good. All right, this is the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and I actually really love this color story. I love those greens and I don't know, just all the jewel tones in here. I like this goes a whole lot more on the cool side even, and yeah, I just think that this is a really good palette, and it adds to my collection even. And from Bare Minerals, I feel like nobody really talks about Bare Minerals as far as eyeshadow palettes, but I feel like they actually have some good eyeshadow palettes. This is the Bare Sensuals. This one I actually don't even think that I have used, but this one is very like mauve-y, purple, again, cool tone type of vibes. This is like Laura Mercier in terms of how it looks on your eyelids. Like, it's just very smoothing. But I feel like these are just kicked up a notch as far as the Bare Minerals brand. That's kind of the feels I get from their brand in general. But yeah, I haven't tried this one. I need to try this one. I have another one or two possibly palettes from the brand. All right, next up is the Buxom Introvert palette. I love the packaging on this one. This is what the color story looks like here. I actually have not used this palette. I really need to. It's super cute. Yeah, I want to do a video with this one. I think this would be great in like the springtime because it does have more of those like pastel colors. Then from Stila, this one weighs a freaking ton. This is the After Hours eyeshadow palette. This is what the color story looks like here. Again, I don't think that I have used this one. It doesn't look like I have used this one. But yeah, I need to because it looks amazing. So one I've had for a while. This is actually a really cool one from Urban Decay. This is your Born to Run palette. This is what the color story looks like here. While there's nothing like super stand out about this palette, I think this is awesome to have because I feel like this is literally everything you need in one palette. I think you can do so many different eyeshadow looks with this one. I love the packaging of it. It's got a nice mirror in here. You have got just traveling type of photos all over this palette. This one is so good, and I'm really happy that I have this one. And then lastly in these drawers from Carity, this is the Picante palette. This is the color story here. Haven't used it. I need to. It feels cheapy, like the actual quality of the packaging, but I have heard that these eyeshadows are amazing, and that is what is important. All right, I actually noticed I forgot to show one. This is the Buxom Fire and Frost eyeshadow palette. This came in a holiday collection. I absolutely love this shade out of this palette. I will pull this out specifically for that shade. It is called Mink Magnet. You can get this as a single, but yeah, I actually love this eyeshadow palette. Okay, there were 58 eyeshadow palettes in this drawer. If you are keeping up, that makes between these two 104. That is extremely eye-opening, and I'm so happy that I'm doing this collection video just because it's really going to help me put it into perspective. Like, you don't need to buy that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.